It has been 1 week since we played golf, and it's going to be a lot more before the next golf video I make. Today we're going to wrap up the season, at least for recording. I don't feel like I have anything else to talk about right now. I'm eager to improve, and I'll probably still playing, but it's going to get pretty cold out, and I just have a lot going on. I'm really loving playing World of Warcraft again. A lot of the reason I picked up golf in the first place was because I had no physical outlet. I had a lot of free time after being laid off of work. I don't know what the future holds for that, but I do know that getting out of the house, you know, maybe even 1 or 2 days a week only, is still really good for me. Makes me really appreciate the things I have when I'm in the house. I would like to keep playing golf, but if it gets much colder than it's been, especially last video, I don't know how I could do it and have fun. I'd played once between then and it was like raining and even colder. It's tough for me. I don't like the cold. I really don't like it. So today we're going to talk about some things and recap the last round that we play on camera in 2020. I also have plans to do a recap the year. I have all the cards that I've played this whole year, so I wouldn't mind taking a look at that. Probably do that much later, like when I'm sure that I'm not playing anymore, probably like December or something like that. But for now, we get to it. And one of the main reasons I wanted to play today was because last week they had shafts on sale, okay, at Callaway Pre-Owned, where I bought all the other stuff. It's like a pretty big sale. The shaft was like $50. I don't know, maybe that's not that big of a sale. People were like, that doesn't sound like that's big of a sale. But anyway, it is a much heavier shaft. If you followed the stories here, the old shaft was 45 grams or something like that. This is 75. It's not much stiffer, but I think it is slightly stiffer. Not necessarily something I wanted, but honestly, it did feel a little weird when that club was so whippy, especially looking at it afterwards. I don't feel like that's a good thing, and I wonder if that's why I'm hitting on the inside of the club so much. So this would be the first time in the summer I would have, you know, a new toy would have arrived and I would have dropped what I was doing and went right to the range, but I haven't swung it yet. It's been almost a week now, so we'll see. It's a lot heavier. Hopefully it'll help a few things, and I still have the old shaft. The cool thing about it is the new drivers, you can just interchange stuff. In fact, there's like a little maybe you can see it here, there's a little like kind of thing right in the middle there that you actually unscrew, and you literally just put the shaft in. So it's identical to what, it's the exact same, everything else is the same. It just should be a slightly stiffer, but more so a lot heavier. First impressions, didn't really hit it any better, but I actually hit a ball off the toe. Literally impossible under the old circumstances. So now I have to kind of readjust. Not the best time to be doing that this late in the year, but it immediately feels like a more fluid swing. I always had problems with that shaft. Like it felt like the club was so light that I didn't even know where it was in my backswing. So I felt like it was really hard to get rhythm. Yeah, came up a bit short on the second. Still getting the feel for everything. Obviously the drive was short, but we have a nice little putt here in. Oh look, they actually aerated the greens. I didn't think they were going to. It's somehow between last Monday and this Monday they've done it. It's kind of funny. Oh wow, how about that? A little bit of luck on the first hole, made par. That was a long putt. Honestly, I thought the aeration of the greens was supposed to make it harder to putt, but I putted it true and it went exactly where I wanted it to. Box is way up today on the second hole, where the round always begins properly, but I wanted to bring the spray. Unfortunately, I forgot it, so we'll have to just try to see in post, which I can do, but I definitely feel like out of the gate I'm swinging the driver a little bit more consistently. Hit a couple of them exactly where I wanted to hit. I hit like 5 or 6 balls on last hole. Didn't show all of them obviously, but I hit quite a lot of balls, and 4 of them went all in the same spot, so that's pretty good. All right, that was probably my best swing with that driver to date. Felt really good off the face. The swing felt really fluid, and I just kind of hit it maybe a little too high and didn't go as far as I would have liked. I swear I've hit it up by that post before. I feel like they moved the post. So you see the other brown thing? I'm a little disappointed with the result. I hit it really, really well. I wouldn't say it's short, but it's certainly, I mean, it's a bit short, but if it hit the green, it probably would have rolled out. We'd be really good for birdie. But now, unfortunately, we actually, look at it, take like a big ball mark too out of a freaking rough. Pretty good start. We've had this start before, still haven't done anything crazy, but it's definitely the first 2 holes are nice. Right now they've played really well. I feel like they're in the best shape they've been all year. It's actually really nice out. It might rain today, but I think it's probably right now just 60, like 60 exactly, and no wind, nothing yet at least. So we'll see how this round goes. It's probably going to get even warmer. I feel pretty comfortable right now. Some of the main things that I was thinking about that I wanted to talk about in this video were, you know, if you don't do a sport or something that requires both mental and physical endurance, how do you respond after taking a long period of time? If you guys have ever done anything like that, even if you just like work outdoors or something like that, and then you don't work during the winter, how is it when you return? I feel like for me, I might be relearning things, because if I don't play for like, you know, months or something like that, I might lose all this progress. I'm playing so well right now that I almost don't want to stop, but there's just not enough time. And then the other thing is, like, what should I do with my gear over the winter? I used to just, like, my old bag, I just sat in the car for years, and I just didn't care. The grips, everything was ruined from the set. But I tell you, I want to really take good care of this stuff now. So I don't know what I should do with it. I guess I should leave it in the house, or is it not? Maybe I should leave it in the cellar. The cellar we have doesn't really get much heat, but it's not going to be freezing over the winter. But should I leave it in the actual house, like where there's a heater and a radiator? Is that maybe not even good for the clubs? Okay, well, that's a new one. That was like literally a slice with the hybrid. I don't think I've ever hit a slice with the non-driver before. Not like that. Like this, I talk about slice all the time. I'm talking about movement to the right, but that's usually a fade. This was actually a slice. Like, it started on line and it ended up over here. We're at the next tee box, in case you have never seen the transition. So this is really far away, but it's actually perfect. Like, if I hit it straight, we'd probably be over the green. All right, strange result there. I got a little lucky yet again, but either way, I think the putting is actually looking really good today. I put that exactly where I wanted it to, the first putt there, and it did not break at all. So I don't know, I always overread the greens. I really have no idea what I'm looking at when I'm looking at the greens. That's another thing. I'm hoping maybe that will get better over my mental game, like we said in a couple videos ago. Overthinking things. Hopefully some time away from golf will help with that. I wish there was a way to actually record the ball in the air, because it started right. I pushed it a bit of my target, but look at this. I would say, even dare I say the words, a slight draw on that shot. Pretty long into the hole though. Usually I'm under 100. We're actually at 110. So this isn't a shot I really have in my bag. I'm gonna have to try to figure out a good yardage here. Flag's kind of on the left. It's always hard to see how to drive up there to tell, but flag's kind of on the left. So I think if I just kind of power it up there, even if it does push or even fade a bit, we should still be on the green. I just want to demonstrate something. So this is the approach wedge. I hit 2 with the approach wedge. Went over there, I don't know if you could see it, but yeah, right here we're about probably 10 yards short of our target. That is a half 8-iron, and that went about probably 15 yards long. So I don't know. I think I need an iron. I still haven't purchased one. I'm not gonna be buying one now. We're gonna wait now. This is the last thing I do is buy this shaft. We're gonna wait now because I don't know. I'm sure things are gonna go on sale. There is actually a 9-iron up in the exact condition I would want to buy it in, but I'm just gonna wait. You never know. Things might be even further on sale next time we play golf. Well, that was textbook par. That was really good. I almost made the birdie too. But I'll tell you, the problem here is that you would say like, oh, well, you hit it long, but you had a putt and that was perfect. Instead of hitting it short, I'd have a chip, and we know how volatile that can be for me. So the thing is, I don't know the distances to the front and the back. Like, I can shoot the flag with the gun thing I have, but there's no, and there's no other devices here for me to do anything more than that. So I'd have to like come up here and like pace it out, I guess, to be sure. I mean, I can kind of just judge with eyesight that was about, you know, I had about 10 yards of green to work with if I went long. So it was about 111 yards, and I probably hit the approach wedge about 100 yards, and I probably hit normally a full swing of the 8-iron is about 125. So I thought a half swing would be about a 110 or 115, but it was probably closer to 120, I guess. We're kind of blocked out by these trees. I don't know how the ball's going to react if it hits this early. Normally I would try to carry that tree, which I definitely can do. I swear about carrying this tree. So hopefully subconsciously I don't overcorrect and end up hitting too far left. Tell you what, look at this thing. It's hitting bombs, man. I love these irons. I'll tell you, the best purchase I ever made for any big ticket purchase for something like this. Really satisfied. Hit the perfect shot, little fade still, and that was perfect because it went a little left and it ended up rolling pretty far to the right. So let's see where we end up. Really nice position here, dead center of the fairway, perfect look in. Usually we're closer to those trees because I kind of bend it around. Usually we're a little bit further too, though. So this is probably the same situation here. I think we have the club for it, but I'd rather be short this time than long because long is absolutely dead. Ball's almost over, guys. You can tell. Look at last time we recorded up here. It wasn't even that long ago, and all the trees are bare. Not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them are bare. But anyway, the shot was hit extremely well. One of the best strikes I had with that. But got 100 yards, like I said, needed 110. So it is off the green. Now we have to make a kind of uncomfortable little chip. Two pars on two straight par fives. Really the previous one is the one that I always expect to struggle on because it's so much longer than this one nowadays. But we played them very well. And I've hit it longer on this hole, but it was really well hit. Felt like really good contact with the club and just a little fade. If it was hit a little straighter, we'd probably be in good shape. I definitely think this is the shaft doing it though. It does feel like my swing speed is lowered, and I think that's why I'm coming up a little short compared to the old situation. But I don't even care because it's so much easier to pace my swing now that I feel like I'm making so much better swings every time I swing it. It doesn't feel like I have to like consciously decide where my hands are going in order to hit the ball. Now I can just take it back and take it forward just like I used to, and the results I think have been pretty clear so far. And I tried to swing a little too hard at that one and ended up kind of jamming the club into the ground. I was aiming a bit more left because everything's been fading a slight amount here with the irons today, but that's disappointing. We'll have to get a nice chip for the up and down. That'll do it. Look at this, man. Dude, we're so dialed in today. It's kind of crazy. And this is another part of the situation. Like, I'm not gonna play golf a lot now. Do I want to stop, man? This is again about 120 out, and it's downhill, so I feel like it's going to probably play about 115, 110 again, and we know where we've been with that. But this time I definitely do not want to be short, so I think we'll try to go with and knock down 8 and see what happens. All right, overthinking it, obviously. Probably should just hit the wedge and full strength it, whatever. But we still have a chance here. We did this on the last hole too, and we have a good chance to still make something. Too much. God damn it. That is really unfortunate. Double there. I'll tell you what, that is all myself too. We talked about mental game, we talked about all this other stuff. 100% my fault. Like, it sucks so bad because we just had every other shot on the card was a par besides the par 3, and this gotta be one of the easiest holes ever in golf, and I managed to mess it up like that. All right, that was maybe the best shot I've ever hit on this hole. Absolute pin seeker, but it didn't roll out at all. Like, I wish I could show it more, but I don't know where it hit. It must have hit right in this rough here, but it pretty much landed and just dead stopped. Well, that birdie would have been nice. That was closer than I don't know, I didn't know what to expect. I knew there was gonna be a lot of break. Hopefully you could tell how much that broke once it got to where I expected to start putting it. It was really right, left to right there. But I tell you, that was a good effort, and I think it's gonna help us confidently approach the rest of these holes. All right, did not hit it great off the tee box. Went with driver again. Still not having a lot of success with the hybrid off the tee for some reason. So anyway, we have really long into the hole still. I would say that this is probably the longest we've had in a long time. Every once in a while, I was back here using the old driver, but yeah, this wasn't hit perfectly. It's really hard to find balls over on this right side. I've had this happen a few times now. At that time I had about 90 yards in, so had the right distance. Felt like I got under it a bit, didn't think I hit it as far as I wanted to, and coming up to it I can see that that is the case. We did not clear the tier, which means that we're going to have a really difficult putt. It could be even a difficult 3 putt if we do not get it up that tier right. Oh, just barely. 9 and 10 are just, they kill me. If I ever make a bogey on both of them, I'd have such a good round. And the problem is all my best rounds had a bogey on at least one of them. So we'll see how the next hole goes. That was driver again. Used to never hit driver here. Obviously, the box was really far back yet again, 2 holes in a row. But yeah, we've hit hybrid up to the front there. So I don't know. Driver's just never going to work out for me, I feel like. But anyway, we have a weird little approach here. I've never been on this far on the right, and I hope that we can get it through that clearing because we have a little bit of tree overhang on both right here and up there, and if we hit it at all right, it's probably gone for good. All right, so I actually hit it pretty well. Hung it a little left, but that's what I was thinking about doing because I didn't want to make sure, well, especially because if it clipped any of those trees, it was going to be in this ravine. And look at this, brand new Pro V, just sitting here on the ground, about 10 yards short of my ball. So I don't know how that's possible. But anyway, This is a really tough shot, and I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I might try to just keep it really low and just kind of run it up the fairway so I could have another shot. Okay, so it could have been really bad, but ended up not bad at all. I had trouble deciding how I was gonna hit it, but we have a long way to the hole still another full shot in, but I think this is definitely better than trying to muscle it through those trees. And again, the 105 number there, hit it long again. I don't know where this landed because it looked like it was going to be better, but maybe it bounced off. I guess not. But anyway, off the green there, and we have pretty good green to work with. We have to make a good chip here. Oh, it's the right line too. That was the right line. I just didn't feel confident with that chip at all. I didn't think it was going to work, honestly, and I was right. I tried putting it a couple times as well. It's just really tough from back there. It's kind of downhill, and that grass isn't as thick as you think, so to get any good contact with that wedge without sending it way off the front, I didn't think I would be able to do it. So, weird circumstance, never had this happen on this hole before. The pin was all the way in the back left, and the box was on the normal front box, so I didn't feel confident hitting the old club, so I hit kind of a knockdown 8-iron, which we've been hitting a lot today because of the situations with the distances, and it was definitely too far, but because there's this slope back there, this really harsh hill back there, I'm pretty sure it hit off that hill and rolled all the way back down close to the green. So we'll see what happens. Before we do that, I just want to hopefully illustrate the fact that you can actually see through the trees on towards the green on the 2 holes ahead. So yeah, it's definitely fall. I've never really experienced this before, but yeah, all the trees and leaves are pretty much gone. All the ground cover is gone too, so I could literally walk from here to there. Also a bunch of deer in there. There they go. So anyway, back to golf here. So yeah, it landed up on that hill. You see how it's kind of like, guy probably cuts and goes up there and back to the previous hole, and it bounced all the way down here, which is like really good. This is perfect. If it was up there, it would completely be dead, but now we just kind of have a little bump and run into the green there. A lot of break. A lot of break. Well, another unfortunate bogey there. The chip was really tough yet again. Didn't realize actually how little green I had to work with. I thought I had better position. There's the deer again. Unfortunately, it's starting to rain. Seems like a light rain though. Hopefully won't be too much of an issue here. Hit it a bit right. Swing was a bit too long, I could tell that time around. I could see my man cutting the grass over there. I have a feeling we're going to be hitting through him or into him, so just something to keep in mind. We'll see if that plays into it. Yeah, dude's literally like right in front of the green cutting, so not sure. I guess I'll just try to aim long and make sure I don't hit him. All right, we are back. I was cutting, had a hit over him, hit a little bit long. We'll resume the regularly scheduled action with this shot here. A little bit longer in than normal, but I think we have a good distance dialed in after all the shots we've hit that were a little bit longer than we have had today. We hit the wedge, thought would come up short, land on the green maybe, but hit it a bit too high in the air, kind of caught it right a bit. So now we have to pitch over the sand trap here. That putt was pretty good actually, I'd say. Just read it a little bit wrong. If I could just land on the green in 2, this would be our best round by a mile. I still think it might be, honestly. Being consistently solid shots, still fading with the driver, but consistently where I want them. I just can't help but laugh at this. Look how many friggin' leaves are. This box is like, man, this has got to be one of the worst maintained tee boxes in Pennsylvania, I think. Finally got a good distance into that hole. 75 yards is exactly what we want. Landed it maybe a little strong, but rolled past the hole. We have a really good opportunity for birdie here. Yes! Oh man, that's awesome. Officially the best round ever, has to be. There's no way. Just made a birdie on that hole. It's the first time I've ever made a birdie on that hole. Usually par is like pretty comfortable because it's relatively short as long as the drive gets in the right spot. But that second shot has been giving me fits to land it that close and make that putt, read that putt properly. That really is a summation of everything we've been doing well. With that being said, if that's the last birdie I get this year, it was a great one. But how do I carry that forward? How do I feel that energy again after not playing golf? You know, especially with if the weather's going to turn, how do I keep playing in my head and not losing that edge? What do you think? That tee shot was pretty good. I still can't get a feel for where I'm hitting the ball off the face, but it doesn't even matter. Like, the swing is so much more fluid. I'm not making these weird herky-jerky motions in the middle of it, so when I actually hit the ball, well, it's gonna pretty much go where I want every time. I would have rather be right because we have more flat ground to hit from, but we have hit from this style of approach before, and all we need to do is get it on the green and we're gonna have a really good chance. I ended up hitting that pitch a little bit, well, quite too far. I probably got it a little thin, went way by the hole, but had a good chance at the putt coming back up the hill and tapped in there for the 5. You might think, well, we made the birdie, we were looking for a par here, but this is a hole that I often have a 6 on, so I really just wanted to eliminate that. Would have been great to hit that pitch better and make the par, but I'm happy with the 5 there. Ugly, I'll tell you what, really bad slice, lost a lot of distance. We were really far. Figured I'd try one of these red balls. My uncle gave me these red balls, Wilson or something like that, see how it goes. But usually I wouldn't use them because there's leaves everywhere. On this hole there's like no actual trees, so it's easy to hit. But probably the worst swing we took all day. Absolutely terrible, barely advanced the ball, kind of went more left than straight. Don't tell me, man, I don't want to hear it. We got about 20 yards to the hole, so just need to kind of pitch it up in the air and stop it. It's gonna be tough to do, but it's a bit wet, so hopefully it'll bite. That's pretty good. Landed right about here, rolled 2 right about there. That's pretty good control, actually. When I hit that second shot, I was like, don't even tell me I'm about to make a double on this hole. Because on the other side, there's a hole that's pretty much this easy, same difficulty that I made a double on as well. I was like, if I make a double on this hole. Quite ironic what's about to happen here. So we're in this front box again, and that's where I played all summer. And we are way up. Usually It's about back there. So guess how much, guess how many yards this is? 111. I'd say it's almost kind of wild how many times we've had that distance today. And I think we rose to the occasion. We hit it again pretty long here, but I know if I just had the right club, we would have been really close. This was well hit, up in the air. It was perfect. So we got a long putt there, but I'm pretty satisfied to be on the green. That's all we need. Well, that's another par. Very satisfying round. We have the last hole, which has been tricky in the past. We'll see. I can see already the tee box is way up. As long as we get a good first 2 shots though, this should be our best round. I probably should have hit it a little bit firmer. We could have got a lot more distance out of it, but it doesn't matter. Got an excellent approach in. Some nice deer in the fairway again up there. We have a nice approach from the fairway, about 120. We've been hitting this club all day, so we should have a nice casual swing through it. Wow, what? Okay. Well, that's quite hard to believe. I came up short after trying to hit it short, and now finally having the right distance. Came up quite short. But I think this is actually not going to be that difficult. Well, that's it. Last time we'll probably, I don't know, we'll see. I probably won't record again for a long time. It was really fun today though. It helps me play better. I feel like always a little bit more in tune with the game when I care about every shot. And today was a great round. Making bogey there still should be, I don't want to say, we'll add it up at the house, but it was an amazing round. We had a lot of pars. That's the most pars I've ever had for sure. And we had that birdie. So this is the last time you see me at Summit Hills for a while. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the golf videos. If you're watching this well in the future, don't feel like you're excluded too. I don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but I'd like to keep documenting my progress. And if this is the end of it for this year, then I think we did really well. I don't think there's going to be many nice days. It was quite nice out today, honestly, even though it rained and it's gloomy. It's like probably still in the 60s. Not bad at all for this time of the year, but it's definitely going to be a long winter. You can already tell based on the weather we're getting right now in fall. So hopefully we'll still have some time to play. It takes so long to make these videos that I don't think I'd want to do that in the freezing cold, you know. So anyway, we'll get home, record our reactions to the scorecard, and talk about the future. Now, the good thing about shooting a good score is I know where I'm at throughout the round, because I can tell just how many over par I am. And if you followed along, you would know 83. So that is one shot below my record, which was 84 from, I have both cards here, Thursday, September 24th, that one was recorded. So they're quite different rounds, honestly. And if I played as consistently when I played poorly as I did that day, we'd be in the 70s for sure today. One on the left is today. That's this one here. So you see, we actually had 6 pars on the front, which is insane. I mean, that's, you're gonna see how funny that is. But 2 doubles, which is ridiculous. So then compared to the front last time, we actually opened with a bogey and only had 3 pars, but we had no doubles, including the last hole, which we made a 5 on. So if we did that today, you know, if basically we didn't make those 2 doubles, especially because that one double was so costly, that's this one here on that short par 4. That is so costly. Both of those together, I mean, we would be in the 70s, absolutely, if we made didn't make the same mistakes. But then the back nine is a much different tale. Here's the back nine from today, and you'll see that we only had one double, but then we had the birdie on the back nine, which absolutely, in order to break the record, you got to have a birdie. I'm just not going to make enough pars to get under 80 ever, so it needs to be birdies. And we did. We actually had a couple opportunities at birdie today, but we only made one. We had 3 or maybe 4 opportunities, so pretty good chance. But the thing here that we had happen last time was, first of all, you could see we were already off to a worse start on this, but then we made the birdie and kind of just kept things stable from there. We made a single par in the back. Actually, we made a second par on the final hole, which is a big deal. Anytime but you see, I also made a 7 on number 10 there, which is what I made today. So like I said, making a bogey on one of those 2 holes instead of a double is the key to the round, but then making a par on the final hole is a really big deal. So either way, the cards are pretty similar. We didn't really make too many mistakes. It's just those early doubles. We actually saved one of the doubles coming out of off the 17th hole, 16th hole there, so it could have been a lot worse, but it could have been a lot better too. I was definitely looking forward to seeing something approaching 70. All we needed to do was just not make those doubles, or yeah, just, I don't know, really, I mean, you can't go wrong. We had 6 pars on the front. That is more pars than we had on the whole round this time. We had 3 and 5. 5 total, but you know, you count the birdie maybe technically, so that's basically the same amount. And then we only made 2 pars and a birdie on the back, so it was a great card. But so what does the future look like? Like I said, I think that's going to be the last time. So how do I encapsulate this, put this in my head and take this with me wherever I go? How much will I play? I don't know. I don't think we're going to play much at all, really, because playing WoW is really something I'm really having fun with again. Like I said, a lot of the reason I was playing so much golf was, one, because there just wasn't as much that I wanted to do elsewhere in my life, and also, you know, obviously the whole situation in the world really made that a big thing. Golf was really one of the only safe things that you could do outdoors for any extended period of time, I felt like. That course was just absolutely perfect for me. Summit Hills, there was never anyone there. I always felt comfortable and safe. I didn't feel like I was worried too often about, you know, what was going on up there. And most importantly, it was a physical release that I really needed. Even though it was only a job, you know, getting out of the house 2 days a week, kind of being on my feet, getting tired physically, not just mentally, I think that's good for you. I think that's something that, you know, you probably should do more than 2 days a week. For now, it's gone. I don't know how much more we'll have in us for golf, and I expect that to probably cause some problems. But more so, let's focus on the golf. What can we do to stay active throughout the winter? What can we do to stay active, even if it wasn't about winter, but just not playing for a long period of time? How could I come back, you know, if I don't play for a couple weeks, how can I come back and still continue to play golf well? I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm going to be exploring it and hopefully staying in tune. One way or the other, I definitely have plans to make a recap video, probably like sometime in like December, something like that, when it's definitely too cold to play consistently. I will, you know, maybe play one last time there to see how we can do, and then I'm going to look at every single scorecard together, and we'll kind of map out the dates, because frankly, the progression I've made has been pretty rapid, I would say. All of a sudden, we just took off there. There was a bunch of 90s, and then all of a sudden we were in the 80s. So I'm really satisfied with that. Obviously, that golf course is fairly easy, straightforward. There's not a lot of danger there, even if you hit a bad shot a lot of times. Especially, there's probably like 4 or 5 holes that like a bad shot is absolutely fine, whereas most golf courses wouldn't be like that. But I do hope that I can get out and play more golf courses next year. I think really, like, if I can get like really good at golf, then I feel like I would be a lot more comfortable just going and playing anywhere, even if I had to play with people I didn't know or some weird circumstance, you know what I mean? Like, if I got good enough that I was comfortable no matter what circumstances I was under in golf, then I would feel like I could expand. But for for right now, I love that. I love Summit Hills because it's just me out there. You know what I mean? It's just me versus the course, pure PvE. There's no, some days there are, but most days there's nothing else in play. And it's been a really good ride for me physically and also mentally. I feel like I've grown as a person in every way possible from golf, and I really cannot recommend it enough. So I think anybody who's watched all of these will see where we're at in the future, but for now it's been a wild ride. Hope to continue, especially next season. We'll see. You know, I definitely want to pick things back up when we have more free time again, and hopefully we'll get maybe a mild winter and we can get some recording in these coming months.